greeting from Singapore. Welcome to Dharma Discussions.
Yes, good evening to you.
I'm Jody, and this is my wife, Lynn.
Yes, I'm from Singapore.
And so today we're going to talk about parenting.
Yes, parenting styles and how it may or may not affect the marriage and the kids, etc., etc.
Okay.
Yes, so it's honestly not the topic that I was looking forward to be honest.
Is that so? So this is the very reason we actually set up for this discussion, is to allow a safe space for us to go and share, to talk, maybe something that you feel quite uncomfortable in talking about.
Yes, correct. So Dharma discussion is really created for us to have discussions over so many different kind of varied topics, from parenting, about couples, about us, could be a bit raunchy or sensitive, or, juicy topics too, that maybe we don't really want to talk openly about, especially between friends or family, especially with a couple.
Yeah.
But we like to do it differently.
Yeah. So we'll create a space. So chip in. If you have any comments, so type it into the Facebook
comment page right now, the live section. It'd be great to have discussions together. Or you could always just WhatsApp us if you want, and we could read it anonymously if you're very shy. But it's really best if you could just write it there so that we could really all discuss together.
Yes.
And I really feel that with this, we could really learn more about each other, and of course, really learn more about myself. And every episode has helped me deepen my understanding about myself and also for us.
Indeed, yes.
And I've got couples or friends or even people not our friends, just people connect with us after seeing our episodes and say that, it really helped them to think a lot deeper, and for them to bring it up and speak to their other half about certain topics, which they've been dying to speak about, but they couldn't really find the right platform or space to do so.
Okay, so here we are. Space is there. So let's get it started. So parenting.
Today's topic is about parenting styles, right? Different parenting styles. And like I said, I wasn't really the most excited about this topic because I'm a parent. I've got 3 kids. And I just grew up in Singapore feeling that, everything that has to do with the child, whether the child does well or especially if they don't do well, be it academically, behavior-wise, if they're not a well-balanced human being, the fault lies with me. Like, because she has a bad parent, or he has a bad parent, or the parents were shit. It's like the buck ends with you, me, the parent. So it's just this extreme amount of pressure to make sure that my child represents me well.
Yes, I think that pressure is there. I wonder how many of you actually feel that pressure.
Yeah.
That actually the behavior of the child reflects whether you're a good parent or not.
Yeah, like if they don't look a certain way, they don't behave a certain way, they don't go to a certain school, they don't score a certain grade, or etc., etc. It just feels like society expects them to be a certain manner. And if you're in a particular, because we are business owners and we live a certain way, our kids must have to be a certain standard as well. And it just feels that way. There's so much pressure to show up and to be to have kids who are like perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And without which, then it just makes me a bad mom.
Yeah. And interesting enough, the other part of it is like we never learn about parenting in school.
Of course not. You don't learn how to be parents.
And most of us actually get exposed to real parenting is literally from our own parents.
Yeah, we could be looking and learning from our parents or grandparents.
Yeah.
The way we were brought up, we may just carry it forward or do the complete opposite because we didn't agree with what was happening.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So one way or another, in a way, yes, it is quite a reflective of your parenting style. So it is only fair for us to go and look into it.
Yeah.
What
kind of parenting styles are there and where do I fit in?
Yeah. It's not a matter of good or bad. It's just a matter of bringing to your awareness what type of parenting style that you fit in.
Yeah, I don't think there's also one that is better than the other. Though they say certain ones have produced certain kind of kids more.
That's all statistics.
Certain kind of parenting style produce better kids. Certain parenting styles produce less performing kids.
Yes, but then again, statistics are just simply numbers that comes out from a pool of study.
Correct.
Depends where the study is being conducted. It can vary. So we can talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about them in case you guys know it or you don't know it. But these are the 4 parenting styles, right?
And there you go. There are 4 types. They're authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and involved. Okay. So let's look into the authoritarian part. So basically, look into as an authoritarian parent, you are very strict, inflexible, high expectation. So basically, I say, you follow, you do. Correct. If you don't do, I'll give you the punishment.
Authoritarian, right? So authoritarian parents are like this. Their style is very strict. It's all about obedience, so like army style, good behavior, and a lot of threats and punishment and shaming. I don't know, I'm guilty of doing some of these.
Why would you use the word guilty?
Yeah, guilty because it sounds bad. I feel like that I'm caught. Authoritarian.
So it has a certain effectiveness to a certain extent.
Yeah, we use a strict discipline style, no negotiation.
Yeah.
And punishment is very common. Communication is one way.
So boundaries are strict.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. How is that working for you so far?
I don't feel like I'm 100% authoritarian, by the way. I just feel that it comes out.
Okay.
This style comes out when I'm desperate. So
the question is, how is that working for you so far? Is it effective? Is it working for you?
No. No. It works sometimes. Like, yesterday our son had a bad tantrum. He was rude. He lied, right? He's 4 years old. He lied to our helper. She lied to you. And he did something he was not given permission to. And then he had a bad attitude. We talked to him and we, in the end I had to take the cane and threaten him with it. Like, keep these things up. Or, then he did it because I told him to do so. He didn't want to do it. And finally, what worked was we gave him a timeout for a few minutes and then he calmed down and everything was all okay. And we talked to him and it was fine.
A book literally came out and it was a bestseller. It's called Tiger Mom. That came out from a Singaporean mother.
I don't know if Singaporean or it's definitely Asian mother.
I think she was a Singaporean who migrated.
Oh, okay.
I think.
But it worked so well. Her kids are phenomenally well-performing and they're so happy, well-balanced individuals. They say they're very grateful for the mother because now they're at a certain level of achievement.
Yeah. So
success for themselves.
So there you go.
Yeah, so I don't know. You are not authoritarian, but at the same time, I just feel that this comes out when I have no choice.
Yeah, I am more of an authoritative, there's a slight difference between the two. Authoritative is we set clear boundary. What are the limits? What are the boundaries? What are things that you can do and you cannot do?
So we look at that as authoritarian and then we have authoritative.
Yeah.
So don't mix it up. Yeah.
So basically, we look into 2 different things, right? One is called the responsiveness and the other one is looking into the demanding part. For an authoritarian, there's a lot of demanding.
High expectations.
Yeah, I demand you to do this, I demand you to perform this.
All right, it's very strict.
But not a lot of responsiveness, meaning that if you're not happy as a child, if you're not happy about the rules and whatever not, I don't care.
Yeah, so authoritarian parents are like one way. It's more of a one-way communication, parent to child. Authoritative could be more two-way. They're also very responsive. They use a lot of positive reinforcement and they would like to be very warm and sensitive. They also have lots of boundaries. So the boundaries are clear. There is discipline with authoritarian parents and the communication is very frequent and understood.
Yes.
And you must speak to them at the level they understand. So I feel like this is what I am. But my authoritative part comes out when I don't get through with this method.
Okay. As for me, it's consequences. the job to make sure that the kid understand falls in me as the parent. Whether the kids, but the job to execute it, or to not to execute it, I mean to obey, that falls in the hand of the child after the child has understood it. So if the child doesn't understand it,
well, it depends, right? I mean, we have kids. The problem we have with kids of so many different age groups now.
yes,
And it's very different. Like, for example, children can be misbehaving and you don't react.
no, because that rule was not given to him.
But I will react
Yeah.
very quickly to certain things that I see that I don't want him to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's different. No?
So for me is I will find whatever rules that I see, boundaries, I will set and I will communicate to him and then make sure that he understands. If he chooses to break it, there will be consequences, and that is no negotiation. So that is the part that we kind of like, in a way, align, right?
Yeah.
So
very
you
aligned.
can't you can throw a tantrum anytime you want.
Yeah.
But if you're not happy, you come and talk to me. I will listen to you.
Yeah, like I think what works with us, at least with our son, is that when either of us lay a law down, like putting him on timeout, we don't override each other.
No.
Like it was, no, it's okay, let's just go to school, because we were all ready to go to school. You know, the door was open and we were all geared up for you guys to leave, and I helped you guys back. No, he needs a timeout, and we had to close everything, undress, and give him a timeout.
Yeah.
You could just say, just forget it, let's just go.
No.
Yeah, but I know that we all.
I think this is a very important part in parenting. I think we're going to talk deeper into that later on, when both parents disagree with each other, or when we have a very different parenting style. Clearly, we do, and how to actually overcome it. But
correct.
But now let's
talk about the four style.
The four style, right? So authoritarian and authoritative. The difference is the authoritative parents actually also respond to the child's need. And we have an open communication about it, but yet also demand the child to follow the limitations, the rules, the boundaries that they're set, right?
Yeah, so let's talk about the ones that are more less controlling ones. We have the permissive parents, parenting style, and the uninvolved parents.
Yes, so the permissive parents, similar to the authoritative one, also are very responsive.
Basically, they give you permission for everything, lah.
Yeah, but
no
demand
boundary,
nothing from you, right? No boundary, nothing.
No boundary, but very warm and very loving parents.
Yes.
But do whatever you want, darling.
A child is a child, treat you as a friend, this and that. I don't know about that personally, particularly for children at a younger age. Maybe when they grow older, I could possibly understand. But nonetheless, I think there is always boundary.
Yes.
But I've come across some parents that like, let them do whatever they want. And at the end of the day, if they did something that goes beyond what we can afford in terms of the consequences,
correct,
then who bears the responsibility?
This is also a fine line, right? Whether you want to jump in when they're experimenting something or let them fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's this fine line. Do I let them fall? And I feel like I behave differently with each child. My first child, like, everything was super sterilized, so sterile. You would sterilize twice everything. The third child is more like the pacifier jobs. You're like, okay, just suck it back again. It's fine.
I don't think that's parenting style. It's just simply. It is not parenting style.
I just think
that's nurturing or caring.
Yeah, it's still similar. Like the first child, I'm so uptight and so by the book and just so uptight. I put a lot of effort to read to her day in, day out, you know, as it tapers on as it goes on to
That's
second
true.
and third.
Yeah, it could. But it's interesting, right? When I notice how you behave in front of the first child, and the second child, and the third child are all very different. Not just about the age. The first child is, and the second is very much so like, this is what I tell you to do it.
No, that's more the second one, because she doesn't do anything I tell her to do.
But even the first one, you would give that energy first.
No, I don't agree.
And if she comes back to you and say, I don't understand, then you would talk to her. You explain to her how it's being done. If she comes and approach you, say, okay, I will trust you what you have told me to do. I just don't know how to do it. I may have some difficulties about it. Come and help me. You will just throw yourself in to help her to do that. But if she say no, or she won't say no, she just simply ignore, not do it, or do something else.
That's it.
She clearly understood it, but she refused to do it for whatever reason. She may not know how to do it, but she refused to ask you. Then that's it.
I think I always start off telling them what to do, or telling them what I would like them to do. I will give them a couple reminders. But like, I think for me, it's like if I repeat myself 3 times, then I have no more patience.
Yeah.
And then I would become more like this, go get this done.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because my eldest, she gets things done ultimately after repeat reminders. I'm still okay. She doesn't get to have punishment. Nothing like that happens with her. I just take away things that she likes because
that is a punishment.
When she blatantly lies and things like that.
Of course, I'm not saying that there's no punishment. There is a punishment. Yeah. You do take away her phone.
Then the boundaries. I give her rules to follow. She breaks it, and I even allow her to break it a few times before I implement anything.
Yeah, that's true. So this is what I'm saying is the style, right? It's still very authoritarian style of like pang. And if she comes back to you, then you somehow switch to authoritative, meaning that, okay, I will explain to you. But if she does not respond to you, that's it. You will just simply, I expect you have understood what I've said. You don't carry it out. Here's the consequences. I think
when she was younger and when she was throwing some silly tantrum that doesn't go away, and it's been going on for hours.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, that's it. Just go and get it done. I don't care. Because you're just wasting time going around the bush.
Yeah.
Because that's just me. It's my character.
Okay.
So I'm not very permissive, I feel, but depending.
Yeah, the permissive is similar to authoritative, interesting enough.
Yeah.
It's the responsiveness is there.
I feel I'm a lot more warm and loving than you are.
Yeah.
I'm more cuddly and
that's not a parenting style.
It's a warm and loving here as part of the thing.
Yeah, warm and loving, but that's not a parenting style. That's just me showing affection.
I'm very affectionate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm very passionate too, which I get very loud as well. Because both ways.
So parenting style is about how you parent the children, how you actually nurture, teach them. So for the permissive and the authoritative, what's same as the response is there. Correct. But one thing is not in permissive, but in authoritative is the demanding. I have no demand for you in permissive.
Yeah, no rules,
no rules whatsoever, right? So that's the part.
The last one are the uninvolved parents.
Yeah, these are just totally, I'm here to feed you, give you basic a roof over your head, basic stuff.
No communication, no expectation.
Yeah, so there's no response, there's no demand.
Correct.
You are entirely on your own.
So what are you? What do you feel you are?
I think I'm more of the authoritative, I will very unlikely I go to the authoritarian.
Yes, that's true.
So here's the interesting part, right?
But
do we all just fall into one category?
I think you also swing to permissive. You like swing between both.
No, the permissive part is if there is not a clear boundary that I have already set. I may not
set as much boundaries as I do.
You do, but yeah, that's true. You have a lot more boundaries than I do. But I have boundaries, and I'm very clear what are my boundaries. I will not let the kid go beyond the boundaries that I have set.
Correct.
Yeah.
And though these are the 4 so-called parenting styles we see all over the internet when you Google it, but I don't think we all fall into just one all the time.
No, according to the study,
sometimes we swing both ways, or we straddle between certain categories. And I feel like I also do that between categories if needed too, and also between different children that I have, because the 3 kids I have are so different. Like it's very hard to like one size fits all,
Yeah, I think that's the interesting part, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us don't fall into just one, but we will have one dominant one. The other interesting part is it's also a two-way traffic.
Correct.
Because is it just about me? Apparently not. The child characteristics, personality, the genetic part component also plays a very important role.
I think it's 2 ways, even 3 ways, depending on the parents and the child.
Oh yeah, so that's the whole dynamic, right?
Yeah, so it's not just me and my child. If I'm only a single parent with no involvement from the other parent, so it's me and my child.
Yeah,
and if there's another parent, so it's like
that would be 3. That would be
it's different.
Quite chaotic.
So we have a feedback here from Sean. He says that he's very authoritarian.
Oh, is he? Okay.
But he feels that it also
creates a lot of conflicts.
Yeah, that maybe you don't need as a family, which is true. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah, there will always be a conflict, but it's a matter of the style of it. In a way, authoritarian is far easier because it's just one command. I don't have to explain to you.
I totally agree with you, Sean. Like, we beat ourselves up because we just want to be the best parents we can for our kids. And there's so much pressure on ourselves to do that. And sometimes the pressure trickles down to the kids.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
I think with my first one especially, there's so much pressure for me to get her to be in a certain manner. Because my eldest is autistic.
Yeah.
And I remember when she was younger, that's when she was a bit more severe. It has, of course, improved and progressed so much better now. That's 11 years ago. Bringing her out for family meal 10, 11 years ago was really difficult. She would have huge tantrums. She would practically be lying on the floor in the restaurant and behaving badly. This is not the way a girl of this age should be behaving, like a 5-year-old girl. Screaming because she didn't want to go to the toilet, or screaming because there's water that she touched and stuff like that. She's got high sensory processing disorder then, very high. And then the family members would turn to me and say, "Oh, what's happened to your child? Are you not spending enough time with her? You spend so much time with your business and your work that you neglect your child." That was the things that was told to me, and not the father, but to the mother. So I feel so pressured and so stressed to do a lot and to show up to make sure that my kids are okay. And I think I pressured her to maybe, okay, since you're autistic, that's fine. Maybe you could be you can be one of the gifted child that gets into the gifted program, because then people will see you differently. And I just needed her to be seen better. And I needed to strategize her to appear in a different light, so that, though she can't connect with you socially, but she's a genius. Something like that. I just needed something, and I was pressurizing her to I really wanted her to be brilliant in something so badly, so that people don't look down on her.
Yeah. So I think here's one thing, as a parent to a parent, if you are watching this, when you see something, you only see it for that moment.
Yeah.
Don't judge. There's a lot you do not know.
In the past, I would judge too, until I became a parent myself, and having a child like that, then I realized that, when I see parents struggling with a kid that's very impossible at her age, I would actually smile at them. Like, I want them to not feel so stressed. And you get that a lot on airplanes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You see everyone's like, shut your kid up or whatever. And I'm like, I would defend the parent.
Yeah. So would I.
Yeah, but most people don't. They find the kid crying and irritant.
My parents' classic teaching to me when I was a kid: you will know when you become a parent.
Yeah, that's true.
You will never know until you become a dad or a mom. Then you know what we are going through.
You never know what kind of child you're gonna get. I always tell people, my staff or friends, you never know what kind of baby you're gonna get. So please be prepared for everything.
Yes. So I was recently going through this master course, and we look into a module called the Cynefin. I don't know how exactly you pronounce that word. This is Welsh. Anyway, he said, if you look into problems, people tend to have one size fit all approach to look at it. There are problems that are simple, so there's a simple answer to it. So you basically look for best practices, right? There are problems that are complicated, so there are maybe several ways to get to it, but you always have just the answer to resolve it. And then the third one is a complex, meaning that there is no one way. And even though if you use the same thing, apply to the same issue at a different time, it will be completely result. Now, parenting falls into that category.
No, I totally agree.
It's complex.
And because my eldest is autistic, so we had to go through the whole process of going to occupational therapy, right? And we've been to a few of them, and we went through them for a few years, especially between the years of 4, 5, 6, okay? Very diligently, we put in a lot of effort, it costs a bomb. However, it's a one-size-fits-all. All of them will do the same thing. Because you're classified under autistic, they will do the scrubbing, they use a special medical brush to scrub the skin to get the skin to be, for the senses. They will use a swing, they will use a speech therapy, where you just parrot. You teach them how to be a parrot, like this parroting, and teach them how to speak, but it's more parroting stuff. So all of them, we've been to 2 or 3 different ones, they all do the same thing. That's what they were taught. But as I learn more about autism because of my situation, I went for a lot of courses and I read up a lot. There's such a wide spectrum of autism. Kids could be, they like hard surfaces, some like soft surfaces, some likes to be touched. They like to touch everything they see, some doesn't want to be touched at all. So you have such extreme differences between every single one of them. But yet you only have the same methods for all of them. When autism spectrum is so varied and so wide, from those who can't eat because of the tactile issues, from those who can eat everything and can socialize a little bit, but there's such a varied degree of autism kids, high functioning, low functioning, and all this other spectrum is so wide, and yet the treatments out there are the same.
So people tend to do that. One size fit all, and they claim to be the expert. The ultimate truth is there's no expertise in parenting. It's a complex thing. Every child is different. Every family dynamic is unique. And they're all different. So that judgment never works.
I think it's always good to get as much information as you can, and maybe you can possibly try certain things for yourself. And you have to be the judge for what is best for your family and your kid. And don't just take my example as the best, or someone else's, or even the doctor or the old occupational therapist as the law. No, it's not true. I got the best result for my daughter by going off the occupational therapy. I went off it completely. I went down a different route, and it gave me the best result. And she made the most progress after which. And she went to a normal school and everything. But she was very severe for a while. I would think that she needed to go to a special needs school.
She didn't. She actually survived
10 years,
in a normal, in a common school,
8
right?
years of,
So I think one of the lessons learned is the connection between yourself and the child is extremely important. Whatever format that comes in.
Correct.
The second, I think, which is extremely important is, which I also find it very hard, is when you think in the best interest of the child. Not
that doesn't
really
always happen, right?
No, because you get pressured, right, from time to time. And of course, as a child, what does the child know? So I have to make that judgment call, what is best for that child.
Even when, they may not understand it.
And is it okay for us to, I think, like Sean said, right?
We make mistakes, right? We don't know any better. We just try our best. It's just like in our business, we think this is the way we wanted to run it or do this, but it didn't take off. And then you have to quickly shift and change gears and do something else, But I think most importantly, it's not that. I feel that with kids, they're quite hardy and they're very adaptable. And when I make a mistake with them, I would go and tell them that I'm sorry.
True.
And I
honest.
thought this was better for you, but I realized it isn't. I'm sorry. So let's try something else.
Yeah.
Though I've not done it very often, but I don't make that much mistakes.
Yeah, that's what she thinks. But the point that here is, I think
I'm more concerned is between the parents.
Yes, we want to talk about that, right?
Parenting the child, because I said parents, right? There's two of us, and if the two of us don't combine well together, then we're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
so,
more so than the child, because the child would after a while, okay, fine, and then they can go a different route. Like, they are really.
You think they're quite resilient and they'll be able to do that?
They can. As long as it's not like prolonged trauma kind of thing.
So
right?
you don't abuse.
No.
Yeah, but I do believe ultimately I think it's important for you to be aware of what really is going on, what is really working, what is not working, so you can see it from an objective point of view as well, and just be aware and be conscious about what are you really doing. So you're very conscious about that. You are mainly authoritarian, and that's you. Whether you like it or not, that's you. So
I think what happens when parents have different parenting styles, and then it confuses the kids.
You think, is it okay to have different parenting style? Will it confuse the child? You and I have different parenting style.
Correct.
But we never confuse the child.
No, because I don't know what's that.
Exactly. I think that's the point. I think it's perfectly fine when we have different style, but we need to be at least appear to be a united front.
Yeah.
In front of the children.
So even though he asked for a certain thing, and eventually I would actually say yes, but you said no, then daddy said no, and then that's it. When daddy say no, it means no.
Exactly. Never make the other parent as the bad person.
Correct.
And you come out as the hero.
Oh yeah. That's when it's really like, these are what we call the toxic parenting habits between couples. The couple that would hurt the kid.
Oh yeah. What are, okay, there are few that actually
you hurt the kid, not because you want to hurt your kid. I assume these are normal parents who don't have any kind of weird psychological problems. They just really love the kid. They just want the best for the kids. But somehow certain behaviors that we may do are actually going to hurt them quite badly.
Yeah.
And let's talk about a few of them. Okay. This one is a classic. I say like that not because it's us. Yeah. But I definitely know how it feels when you're competing with another parent to be the best parent. Not that I'm competing, it's more of, as long as one of us is doing that, it's shit. Like I didn't even know I'm in a competition, but somehow
I understand.
I realized that I became the bad parent.
It also happened in my previous relationship.
Correct.
It was hard.
I need you to be the bad parent in order for me to be the good parent. It only has to be that way.
No, if it is communicated and I'm willing, that's fine. But it's behind the scene.
Oh, not about good cop, bad cop thing,
No, it's not good cop, bad cop. It's I really made you to be a bad one.
Yeah, it's like in order for me to be seen as the well-liked, popular, loved parent, I need to make the other guy
looks
the
bad
one.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah,
so that I will look good all the time. So don't think you can be the popular parent without making the other one look bad. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
No. So I don't know if you're consciously doing it or unconsciously doing it, but really think very hard, why are you doing it? And is it necessary?
Yes. If you see yourself going towards that pattern, please seek for help.
It's really hard because as the kids grow older, as this is my own experience, as they grow older, they will either learn how they get really confused innocently, or worst of all, they totally manipulate the situation.
Yeah, they will do that.
And ultimately, if you both love the kid and you want the best for the kid, then as they grow up, they'll always try to push their luck and break the boundaries that's given. And if you want to be the good parent all the time, you kind of let her break it. But I'll be the one trying to put the fences down, and you're like, okay, this is fine. So
it's only mommy that will not allow you to do it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Talk to her.
Because your mom is your mom, the way she's like that, or she's like that, or her environment is bad. Whatever lah, it just becomes I'm the bad, negative, horrible one, and you are the darling. But then ultimately, the kid doesn't get disciplined and doesn't fall in line to do certain things that she needs to do. And you see bad habits coming out. There's lying, there's cheating, there's all these nonsense things that he or she would come up with.
Yeah.
That honestly, as teenagers, as we become teen, we'll all pick up along the way, and we'll try to push our luck to get away with shit.
Okay.
And if it's not aligned, the one who will suffer will be the kid, because she or he will be getting away with nonsense that she's not supposed to.
Yeah.
And one parent is trying to rein her in while the other one is letting her loose.
Okay.
So she will never be able to learn.
Yeah.
So how does that benefit the child?
Yeah, so sometimes you really have to think is it about the child, or is it really about you? So you want to be the popular one, you want to be the one that is being loved.
So difficult.
Yeah, so I find that is very selfish if one actually does that.
Yeah, consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah.
I say unconsciously.
Anyway.
Yeah, because,
so move on to the next one.
Okay.
Overcompensating for the other parent. How does that work?
I don't know, maybe one parent is a very uninvolved parent. Maybe one is totally hands off, leave it all to you, and therefore I have to overcompensate to make up for the other parent not being there.
Yes.
Yes,
it happens. It's actually quite common in that sense, particularly if one is a parent who's hardly home.
Yeah.
And the other is basically a homemaker. And so that overcompensating is there.
Correct.
So
but I don't think it's a bad thing, depends on how you deal with it. Because I think your mom did a very good job.
She did indeed, yes.
Because your dad had to live apart from you guys because of the situation Indonesia was in, right?
Yeah, it was not the situation. It was
the best interest also
in the best interest for us.
Get out of the country for a while to study somewhere else.
Yes, correct. And basically my mother was the main caretaker looking after the household, but she will always make my father's presence there, even though he's physically not there.
Yeah, I think she did a brilliant job.
Yeah, she did. She did indeed.
Fantastic. Yes. Tell them what she did.
So when my father is not around, she will explain to us why he is not there. So when my dad is about to come home, she will prep us.
No, she'll say that your dad's working really hard to provide for the family. She speaks very well of him all the time.
Yes, she does. And she also makes sure that she creates time for us to be together when he's around. So she would say, okay, so knowing that my dad will be back, will be home for that weekend. And she would say, okay, so this weekend, basically, there's nothing. The party is just with that. And so we'll make that family time happen. And this goes on for 20 years.
Yeah, I think because she's so emotionally strong. I can see some who they can't take the loneliness or to deal with the kids alone. Then they will start to become very negative and blame. And then the kid will be like, oh yeah, my dad is just there.
Yeah. And this happens during the time when there was no internet.
Yeah, it's tough.
It was really tough.
So I felt like your mom did a fantastic job.
She has done a great job, and my father also acknowledged my mother's contribution.
Oh, that it's very important to acknowledge the other partners.
Yeah, he does. He tells us all the time about what mom does for us and the family as a whole. And so I think that upbringing taught me something about how much they love each other, how much they cover each other's back, but not compensating or trying to fight again.
Yeah, so I do understand sometimes you have to kind of cover or be like both parents because of the situation you're in, and that's fine. It's just how we do it that it doesn't seem like a negative thing. And there's always a way. I don't know what he's doing. Something like that. Some comments like that done over long term is bad.
Yeah.
I've seen that also with someone close to me, and she's a single mom, and she had to put her child with her parents, and because she's a single mom, she had to work, right? And she had sometimes had to work late, but it didn't help that the dad at home or the grandfather didn't support it or say, oh, your mom's working really hard for you, things like that. Say good things about why the mom is out. Instead, you say, oh, your mom is out with some man, I don't know what she's doing, blah, blah, blah. So things like that will then feed into that child's psyche, right? That I love my mom, but my mom is not there for me. Your mom's never around for you. Look at her, what she's doing.
Yeah.
Versus not covering, but speaking well of the other parent.
Yeah, exactly.
So that has caused a lot of problems I've seen.
I think it's important for a child to know that no matter what, the parents love them.
Yeah.
Feeling that they are being loved, I think it's extremely important.
So that helps if you're able to speak about the other parent positively all the time. Yeah. Okay, colluding with the child.
I think this you have a lot of experience with.
Yeah, like telling my child to hide things from me.
Yeah, not from
Did you know that that's teaching them how to lie? Like you're trying to teach your children to be honest, truthful people with responsibility, and yet you're teaching them to lie.
Yeah, please don't tell mommy this. Please don't
tell mommy I've smoked. Yeah. Don't tell her this. Please don't tell her that. And then you put them in a position where they have to start hiding things from me.
Yeah. I also have that experience as well with my.
It's so defeating, right? It feels like I worked so hard all these years and it's just gone like that.
Yeah, exactly the same. So please don't collude with the child.
Yeah. I feel that happens when you have something to hide.
Like, if you don't want them to know, just don't do it.
Don't do it in front of them. You don't want your child to know that you smoke, or the agreement between us is don't smoke in front of the kids. Then don't smoke in front of the kids. Make a really strong effort to do so. If you happen to accidentally break it, then come to me and admit it. Say, I'm sorry, I did it. But I'll do better.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Okay, you don't tell mom about it. Oh my God. Then you're like.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you very much.
Never collude with the kids. Yeah. Okay. Openly disagreeing over.
I see this happen a lot.
Yeah, which is not a good thing.
Sometimes I know you guys don't do it on purpose.
But if there is a disagreement,
try your best.
Just pull aside, have a quick conversation, just calm down, and then have a unifying. Don't
override.
Yeah, don't override.
In front of the kid.
It won't work.
Even if you don't agree, I don't know. I think the only time I will step in is maybe I don't know. Maybe if things got very violent. Yeah, if you never did with that, I'm just saying, what scenario would I come in is when I think things are getting out of hand or it's getting too much.
Yes, but if that's the case, is you only stop the other parent.
Correct. I said, darling, come with me. I need to talk to you for a while.
Yes, exactly.
Come with me. I need to talk to you. Like, come now. I need to talk to you. And I want you to do the same for me. Yeah. If I became too angry and I became, I don't know, too much, I would want you to take me away from the situation. And not like shout at me on the spot in front of everybody to tell me not to do something. I was like, please take me away. Maybe I was not myself. Yeah. Which could happen. Then protect your other half and take them away from the situation. I would want that. I want you to do that for me too. Because I never know when I get. Yeah. So I guess it's really like this. But you want to kind of give the benefit of the doubt that to your spouse. And don't directly challenge them in front of your child. Yeah, it will never work. And you're gonna talk behind in the room or fight about it. Make sure they can't hear you either. Okay.
But well, that depends on the situation, right? Sometimes they may hear it, and is it okay to let the child know that we are in a disagreement? I think it's perfectly okay.
Yeah, we had that before. We were so loud, and then our son is worried, right? And he would actually ask about it.
Yeah, and I said, yes, we had a little argument, but we are fine now.
The next day or the next time they see us, he sees us happy and loving again.
Yeah. I think ultimately
all the kids, the older ones, are sort of like, what happened yesterday?
So I think ultimately, whatever style you apply, a child learns from examples. They see how you behave, and then they pick it up from there. And I think the way they see how a relationship is supposed to be, they see that from their parents. So if we're affectionate with each other, we talk with each other instead of shout. And when we have disagreement with each other, we have a way of dealing with the conflicts and then patch up again. These are real life examples. We are not God.
No,
We're human beings, right? And so, and they will see it, they will learn it, rather than doing all the, what we said just now, the above, creating all those toxic relationships.
Yeah, so I guess, again, to adopt a united front in front of your child.
Yeah.
And especially in creating boundaries and expectations to do that.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure what boundaries and expectations to have, then maybe you'll start having discussions around it, and then you can have it consistent. If you agree, for example, 1 ice cream a day, that's 1 ice cream a day. Don't be like, okay, I give you 2, but don't tell mom.
Yeah.
It starts with this kind of small things.
Yeah.
But all this kind of thing gives you brownie points, but after a while it becomes like, it's just...
Yes. The only time I say don't tell mom is because we need to give mom a surprise.
Yeah, I will say that too. That's fine.
Yeah.
And he knows, right? He's in on it.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
fun.
That's fun.
The energy is very different. But the energy is to hide because
And
you're doing something you're not supposed to is quite different.
That's very wrong. Yeah, so...
But for small things like ice cream is a small example. I don't really care about, like, even watching a cartoon is a small thing. I think about big stuff.
And
Those
if
are things
you
you
actually break the law and break the rules, admit it and say sorry about it in front, and
maybe you broke it accidentally, you forgot, I don't know, whatever reason.
Or so that any disagreement you have, there you go.
Yeah, trash them out privately. Take a walk out of the home. If your home is small, walls are very thin, then don't trash it out. I'm not doing it in front of them, but in my room, but everyone can hear you loud and clear. It's quite pointless. You just get out somewhere to the park or something and go talk there.
Yes,
out of sight.
And when you want to establish a rules, also, I think it's good to really establish the rules together. I personally would...
between us first, huh?
Yeah, definitely first.
Then
we'll include the child to come in.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to say next, actually. To really discuss and lay out some kind of family rules, work out your family constitution.
Yeah.
Things like that, Then, at least between the couple, we have to be like so alike. And then when we get the kids involved, I think depending on their age, to get them involved in creating like the values of the family, certain rules, certain traditions, certain fun things. So they feel involved in planning it.
Yeah, I think instilling that family value is important.
Yeah, it's very, very important.
Yeah, so lead by example, start involve them in at the very early age is a good thing.
Yeah, I still feel like parenting is a lifelong journey. It's not like...
Oh yeah, it is. Ask your mother about it. Till today, ask my parents about it. They're in the 80s and 70s, right? And they will still say, I'm still your parents, which is true. Is true.
And I feel like looking back at that the whole 4 thing about that authoritarian, permissive, uninvolved, and they have certain things, certain kids seem to fare better when they come from certain categories of parenting. I don't know. I don't agree fully.
No. It also, if you look into the study itself, it also says different culture, different environment has got a different result. At the end of the day, it's about statistics, right? So they have given a group of people,
right?
And that pool does not represent the world.
But they claim that kids from authoritative parents are authoritarian parents. Yes, are well behaved.
Slightly more
authoritative or more aggressive.
Authoritarian will be more aggressive.
Authoritative are more behaved, so like the tiger mom type.
Yeah, that applies well in the Western world. In the Far East, in the Asian culture, the authoritarian is more well accepted as the culture itself, and somehow it becomes the norm.
And I feel like when I read this and I reflect back on my own upbringing and with my parents, I'm not sure. I think they became authoritative, and also permissive and uninvolved at different stages of my life. when I was young and because I was the firstborn, I think there were more attention then. But as my sisters came along, I got less. And I became much older too. So it's less and less. To the point that I felt like they were pretty uninvolved.
Okay.
But it's just provide me with my necessities and nothing else.
So in my case, it has always been very authoritative from them.
It's just very Chinese style also.
No, my mother sets very clear directions, limitations and boundaries, and both of them enforce it. Apart from that, they basically give us kind of like a free hand, whatever it is, and they do allow us to go and talk to them about it if we're not happy. I've never been punished as a sense from or scolded by my parents or even beaten, never.
Different.
So that's my upbringing.
I've seen kids get beaten, I've got beaten. It's very common.
No, my parents never lay a hand on me.
Very common this culture here.
Yeah.
It still happens. But now I threaten my kids with cane is seen so bad. I only threaten them.
Yeah, but in Singapore, caning is even legal, right?
Yeah, they leave us to discipline our kids.
Yeah.
Unless I think there's bloodshed or something like that. They will not get involved. The police will not get involved if the parent caned their child. Yeah.
But anyway, whatever it is, we talked about it. I think the connection with the children is important. Having the best interest of the child first is important, and having that awareness.
Yeah, I also feel that looking at how I was brought up and everything, I don't think my parents were the best. Sorry. But I think at the same time, they did the best that they could.
I think that's important.
Yeah, they were not the best when I look back. But then again,
they only know what they know, right?
Yeah, and they could only cope what they can cope. They had 3 kids. They had a business. They were struggling. Then they had work. They had so much things in their life, right? So I think they did the best that they could. And I just did what I had. So I felt that genetically also makes a difference.
It does, because it's a dynamic, right?
Correct. So despite what I had to go through, but also what I went through also built me who I am. It didn't make me bitter or resentful. I feel that I'm successful also due to what I had to go through.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it'll be the same for everyone.
Yeah.
And I've seen people with really blessed, very good backgrounds or whatever, but still different. So I think there's also like nature and nurture plays a part.
Yeah, it does. It is a very complex thing. But interesting, so far throughout the whole conversation, we've been talking about parenting. Assuming there are 2.
Correct.
So you have experienced single mother.
Yeah.
How did that feel? And
as a single mom, it's very tiring because I feel like I have to play both parts. And I know that as a mother, and then when you have daughters, you are like
the role model.
You're the role model, and the guy is the not care and control, the one that security.
Oh, okay.
So it's the reverse. Like if I have a son, so I'm security, and he is role model. So the father acts as a role model. So I felt I had to juggle both. I have to be both role model and also security. So that was really tough and not appreciated at all, of course. Because I had to be like the bad cop all the time.
Okay.
Because I'm the one who they live with me, and there's no co-parenting. It's just me, care and control. The other parent just is the fun one. I am the parent. So it's tough, very, very tough. I think it's easier for single parents who had like nothing from the ex. Then maybe it's just easier, just one voice. Then have 2 different voices, versus a voice that's aligned.
Yeah.
So I feel like that part maybe I didn't do a good job. I couldn't get aligned with my ex. If I could just align, it's fine that we're divorced. It's fine that we can, we are separated and live separately in different countries. I think it's fine as long as we can co-parent with alignment. But it's so difficult when we don't.
Yeah. In my case, sadly, I had to turn myself to be the uninvolved parents when I
With your 3 kids for the
with
first
my
marriage,
3,
right?
yeah, exactly. And because of that very reason, I could not get myself aligned, and it just caused more pain to the children than anything. Everything they do, they will see there's a conflict between their mom and their dad, and they have to choose between the two. And so it was just too painful for me to see that. So, right, I would just have to bank on the faith that I may not disagree, I may not agree with her, but I do believe that she is a loving mother. And
Well, I think she's done a good job with 3 kids.
I'm sure she does. Yeah.
They're doing well.
And
They're
so,
not ill-treated. They're,
so
they look good.
I got detached from it. Just don't want the kids
To
to feel
lessen the
that.
drama.
Yeah, and hopefully one day I will reconnect with them again.
I hope so too. I haven't seen them. I really want to meet them in the flesh as well.
But I'm getting some good vibes now because I'm getting text messages from them, which is a good thing. But the other interesting part is the co-parenting. Like in our case right now, right?
Correct.
So it's not 2, but it's 3.
Yeah, correct. That's true. So like a blended family situation.
Yes.
So that's also.
So from your perspective, how is that working for you?
I think I'm very lucky because I have a wonderful husband.
She has to say that.
No, it's true. And why I say it's not to praise him, but it's true. He makes such a great effort with my ex. He talks to my ex-husband more than I do about the kids. And so it's I'm very lucky that the third parent coming in, it's not creating a wedge, but actually you're more like pulling us together.
Yeah.
And I think my kids are very lucky because now they have 3 parents. They have a mom and 2 dads who love them and care for them.
Yeah, I think
but just that it's more of us to get aligned. That's about it.
I think that was the first conversation I had with the with your ex was, I'm here not to be the stepfather.
Oh, you told him I'm not here to be their dad. You will always be their dad.
They will always be their father.
Correct.
I can be called.
I think that assured him a lot because he was a bit like nervous maybe because like you are the father figure in the home now versus he doesn't live with them.
No.
So he's not the.
But then it will be my job in a way to make sure that the kids recognize that the father loves them and he's always there to encourage them to have that connection.
I just feel like on hindsight, because of I was trying to be very idealistic and trying to be, in a situation where I feel that we can all co-parent and we can live happily ever after together. Actually, it's so much harder. If I just did things my way, just did it by myself, maybe I will not put myself in a situation like this where it's so exasperating.
Oh, in what?
Like if I just, because initially he wasn't so much involved in parenting them. I kept pulling him back in. Call your kids, make it a fixed time, and make sure you appear and be with them. I kept pulling him back to be their dad. Like when you come back to see them, you make sure you come back and see them. You don't cancel last minute. You sort of call them, you make sure you call them, or don't call at all. So I would do things like that from the very beginning. And now, on hindsight, I'm like, I've made so much effort to keep wanting him to co-parent, but I never really aligned with him how to parent them properly. And maybe if I didn't bother and just let him do as he pleased, then maybe I won't have such a hard time also.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? I think getting the other person involved in setting the parenting style, if you choose to co-parent with the person.
Yeah, but it's also
but
hard,
if the person,
we both have our past baggages.
Yeah, if the person chooses to be uninvolved, I think then the job will be to assure the children that, hey, their father still loves them.
Yeah.
And not by saying bad things about the father.
Or vice versa.
So, protecting is one thing, but saying bad things is another. So I think that's what we want to really talk about.
It's still I think it's a delicate balance. I'm still trying to work it out. It's like a work in progress for me.
I think it is. I mean, it's a journey throughout our whole life. and there's no
There's no hard and
rules
fast
book, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about our awareness. We continue to learn
One of the
about
past
it.
episodes I talked about it in the divorce, right? I felt like I regretted taking over the whole parenting. I just thought that because I'm the woman, I'm the mother, and therefore it's my job, and I took it on by myself, thinking that I'm the better parent. And I learned to realize that maybe I'm not the better parent. Maybe I'm not the only parent. I really should have co-parented from day one and chose that route instead, or maybe even let him be the main parent. Why not? Why should it be all me?
Exactly.
But it didn't come to me then, 10 over years ago. It's not culturally in the society, it's not seen that way. But now I speak of it very differently. I would definitely encourage, find a way that is going to balance it out for the long run, because I wasn't thinking it so far. I just thought of it now. I'm the mother, I can do it. But actually it's really tough because everything is on you, and you end up being the shitty, unappreciated, unacknowledged bad parent for a long time.
Well, that's the reason why parents comes with a plural.
True.
Unless you're forced into a situation where the other, your partner somehow physically no longer exists.
Yeah, true. So I think it's hopeful for those of you who are still together and parenting together that you can really make the best out of it.
To me is, I think, enjoy the journey. There are some good times, there's some bad times, but don't be so hard on yourself. And just enjoy, even if it's a mistake, it's a lesson learned. And focus on that connection with them.
For me, my lesson learned in the recent years is that I gave up the whole notion of being the
perfect
good parent. I gave them up. I say maybe I'm not. So that's a big thing for me.
I don't think there's such thing called perfection.
Yeah, but I keep thinking that I'm the better parent.
Oh,
I'm the better one. I'm the good parent. I'm a good mother. But I give up the whole notion, or even that label of being a good mother. I think that has helped me a bit to not be so hard on myself.
Yeah, that's good.
Just do the best I can, and I think you'll be fine.
So that brings in a lot more laughter, pressure off the shoulder, and really enjoy the children, because they grow up really, really fast, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, oh wow, it's gone beyond an hour now.
Yeah, that's fine.
So on that note,
so we talk about next week. It's going to be a very kinky topic.
What are we talking about this week?
I was inspired by a show I watched on Netflix.
Okay, what is it?
The show we started watching.
No, he, me, and she.
You, she.
Or he, she,
you, me, and her.
You, me, and her. Okay.
You, me, her.
All right.
I don't know. There's something like that is going on Netflix. So I thought we can talk about that.
Wait. Are you entertaining this idea now for us?
No. We're talking about it. Doesn't mean we're doing it, right?
Oh.
Please don't assume that just because we're talking about something means we're gonna do it.
So we're going to talk about you, me, and her.
Yeah. Just the whole idea of bringing a third party into the marriage.
Oh, wow.
You, me, her, or /him. I just thought the title was too long, so I took out the /him. It's not fair to always think it's her. Why can't it be him? You, me, and him.
That'd be interesting.
So it's about the idea of bringing a third party into your marriage.
Okay, so tune in next week, same time.
Yes.
9 o'clock Singapore time.
Yes.
Come and join us.
9 a.m. EST.
All right. It's not no longer 9 a.m. because they have just shifted.
Oh, so it's 10 a.m. EST.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Okay. See you then. Goodbye.